I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. So has Alina Habba been fired, or is she voluntarily withdrawing as Donald Trump's lawyer in various cases? A federal filing seems to suggest Alina Habba has been fired or that she's voluntarily withdrawing. Less likely she's voluntarily withdrawing. This comes after Alina Habba and Donald Trump were sanctioned basically $1 million in a frivolous federal lawsuit that Alina Habba filed on Donald Trump's behalf in the Southern District of Florida. The federal filing that I am referring to is a filing by E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, and in her letter to federal judge Lewis Kaplan, they're not related, they just coincidentally have the same last name, Roberta Kaplan says that Alina Habba told her that she was going to be withdrawing from the case and that her firm, Habba and Madeo and Associates, is no longer going to be the lawyers. But then after this letter brief was filed in federal court, Southern District of New York, by Roberta Kaplan, Alina Habba just recently sent a letter saying, no, I wasn't fired. I've just basically been demoted. Donald Trump has brought in a lead trial lawyer, Joe Tacopino, but I'm still hanging around. I'm still clinging on to this Donald Trump grifting bandwagon. And look, let's face it, Alina Habba's the worst lawyer in the country, or at least one of the worst lawyers, or among the worst lawyers in the country. She can't try a case. She doesn't know how to go to trial. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's basically pretending to be a lawyer, and a fascist, traitorous lawyer who doesn't support democracy at that. So here, let's just pull up the filing first by E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, Roberta Kaplan. Let's see what she wrote. And I'm going to show you what Alina Habba wrote in her letter to the judge saying, no, I've just been demoted. Here, this is what Roberta Kaplan says. Dear Judge Kaplan, we write on behalf of plaintiff E. Jean Carroll in connection with the notice of appearance, that means a lawyer has entered their appearance in a case, filed today by Joe Tacopino. Yesterday, counsel from Habba, Madeo and Associates LLP told us that they intend to withdraw from this case, leaving Mr. Tacopino as sole counsel. At least in principle, we have no objection to defendant's decision to change counsel. However, we are concerned that defendant, Donald Trump, may seek to use this late-stage substitution of counsel of lawyers as yet another tactic to attempt to delay the proceedings, this time as the parties prepare for trial. And trial in this matter is set for April, and Judge Lewis Kaplan said he's not planning on moving this trial. So one of the things that Roberta Kaplan, E. Jean Carroll's lawyer, wants to call out here is we want to make sure this isn't a tactic to try to say, oh, I'm not prepared, we need to delay things. Roberta Kaplan in her letter goes on to say here, in this case, on November 22nd, Your Honor asked counsel for defendant about making sure that the various claims and lawsuits that have been filed are being handled in an organized manner, and who's going to be the legal team on the different sets of claims and different lawsuits that E. Jean Carroll filed. Remember, E. Jean Carroll filed the first case back in 2019 based on statements Donald Trump made in office. She alleged defamation of her character. Then back in October of 2022, Trump defamed her again. And then the adult survivor statute passed in New York, which revived the statute of limitations on her civil rape claim. So there's technically two cases, but the judge addressed this with Alina Habba and the Habba, Madeo and Associates, said, make sure you're organized because I'm going to probably try these cases together. I don't want you to use any of this as a delay since you've known about this consolidation for a significant period of time. The letter goes on to say, as Your Honor has previously recognized, defendant Donald Trump's litigation tactics, quote, strongly suggest that he is acting out of a strong desire to delay any opportunity plaintiff may have to present her case against him. In light of this finding and the closely related nature of Carroll 1 and Carroll 2, all of the cases that E. Jean Carroll filed, there is a substantial cause for concern that defendant will seek to leverage the late-in-the-day withdrawal of Habba, Madeo and Associates into further delay of both actions, thereby prejudicing this plaintiff. So What does E. Jean Carroll's lawyer ask for? Accordingly, we respectfully request that the court require defendant's counsel to provide sworn assurances that these developments will not cause any delay of the proceedings. Seems fair and reasonable. Well, Alina Habba then responds with a letter on her firm's letterhead saying, no, I've been demoted. I'm still on this case. I'm still around. This is what Habba writes. She goes, Dear Judge Kaplan, we write in response to the letter submitted earlier today by E. Jean Carroll regarding the notices of appearance filed by incoming defense counsel Tacopino, Siegel, and DeOrio, PC. Contrary to plaintiff's contention, the transition of counsel is not in any way intended to delay or hinder the adjudication of this action. If anything, the circumstances surrounding the submission of plaintiff's letter, which was sent while the parties were gathered for plaintiff's deposition and without notice or warning to defense counsel, suggest that it is plaintiff who seeks to leverage the shift in counsel to her advantage. Like, Habba just makes things up, because you'll see how disingenuous that point is in one moment.
And now let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Fume. Be smart, don't start, kick the habit, put it out before it puts you out. All phrases we've heard 100 times, yet we still continue to have bad habits. Now, as you may know, I have a horrible habit of grinding my teeth that just drives me up the walls. Well, our sponsor Fume is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious flavors. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to always do. Now, look, I didn't expect much out of Fume when I first got it, but the minty sensation is really powerful, and it really hits the back of your throat in a good way. Also, the design is super sleek. My own experience with Fume has been game-changing. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work. Head to tryfume.com and use code Meidas to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfum.com and use code Meidas to save an additional 10% off your order today. And now, back to the video.
This is what Habba says. Yesterday, the undersigned, meaning Habba, I, Alina Habba, reached out to plaintiff's counsel to advise of the change in counsel and requested a brief 1 to 2 day adjournment of plaintiff's deposition, which had previously been scheduled to be held today. The purpose of the brief adjournment was simply to allow incoming counsel sufficient time to review the recent record and prepare accordingly. Despite having previously asked defense counsel for a 1-week adjournment, to which defense counsel freely consented, plaintiff's counsel refused to adjourn the deposition even a single day based on the change of circumstance. Defendant did not push the issue and agreed to move forward with the deposition as planned. Plaintiff has proceeded to submit a letter accusing defendant of engaging in yet another tactic to attempt to delay the proceeding, which excluded these relevant facts. The letter goes on to say the following. To be clear, defendant is not seeking any adjournment or extension of the court's scheduling order based solely upon the change of counsel. There are, however, several scheduling related issues that have arisen recently that we would like to raise and seek appropriate intervention by this court. Therefore, we believe it would be in the best interest of all parties for the court to set a conference to discuss the schedule and upcoming trial date. We thank the court for its attention to this matter. Okay, Alina Habba, you are admitting to it because you say, to be clear, defendant is not seeking any adjournment or extension of the court's scheduling order based solely upon the change of counsel. Well, clearly, that is one reason. I mean, she's trying to be sneaky with the language. Do you see what she's doing there? She's saying it's not based solely on the change of counsel, but there are other reasons why we want to try to kick and delay this trial. So they are using the lawyer as one factor, but they're going to say there's multi-factors. So it was great that Judge Lewis Kaplan has received this letter from Roberta Kaplan to be aware of these tricks. Because if Roberta Kaplan did not raise this with the court in a timely fashion, Trump's lawyers would have said, well, if you cared so much, you should have objected. You should have wrote a letter. Look, they failed to write the letter. It shows they don't care. That's how the Trump kind of litigation tactic is. They would have blamed Roberta Kaplan, E.G. and Carroll's lawyer, for not being diligent and raising this issue. And also, you see as well in Alina Habba's letter that Alina Habba was asking to delay the deposition based on a change of counsel that had been scheduled for some time. So a completely disingenuous letter here, and they do want to delay the case. That's what they ask for in the last paragraph, not solely based on change of counsel, but that is one reason. So that's one factor, one reason. And by the way, who do you believe here? Do you believe Roberta Kaplan, who's been honest with the court at all points in time, that she got contacted by Alina Habba, who said they are withdrawing from the case? Or do you believe Alina Habba, who's saying, I never said that, they misunderstood what I said? Meanwhile, Alina Habba goes on and lies about every single thing all the time. So clearly, Alina Habba made the phone call to Roberta Kaplan and said that she had been fired or that she's withdrawing and that a new lawyer would be stepping in. And then Alina Habba probably begged Donald Trump, please, 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 let me just stay on the case. I'm not going to be the lead. You'll hire a lead lawyer. Let me just help out in the case. Please don't make me leave the case. That's probably what happened after the fact. And she's fighting to stay relevant and to stay on the case. Now, there's one other reason that I believe Alina Habba was fired, and that is there was a hearing that was held on Wednesday that Judge Arthur Engoron, a different judge, a state court judge in New York, remember, the E. Jean Carroll case is in federal court in the Southern District of New York. That's before a federal judge, Lewis Kaplan. The New York Attorney General's fraud lawsuit seeking at least $250 million in damages for fraudulent business practices against Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, and his adult children. Well, that is filed in state court. That's before state judge Arthur Engoron. Arthur Engoron ordered the parties, the New York Attorney General parties, as well as the Trump lawyers, to show up in court because the New York Attorney General's office wrote a letter earlier in the week flagging that Donald Trump was filing frivolous and fraudulent documents in the court to try to delay. And so the judge there said, look, we're not delaying this. I'm having trial, hell or high water, in October. So the judges, the lawyers, everybody are on to Donald Trump's legal tactics. So they're being aggressive with the court and saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We're not going to be fooled twice by you. So boom, we're going to go to the judge right away. And so Alina Habba and all of these Trump lawyers, Christopher Kise, and all these other lawyers were ordered to show up. Alina Habba did not show up there. And Madeo, her partner, basically said, I don't know why she didn't show up. She couldn't make it today. Really? We're supposed gaslighting 101, right? We believe that she just couldn't show up to the hearing, that she loves the press, she loves the attention, but she just couldn't show up on Wednesday? No. There's something clearly going on, which is she was sanctioned $1 million. All of her other cases had to be, voluntarily dismissed because of the complete beatdown by federal judges and other judges for her frivolous lawsuits that were filed. And Trump's likely saying, look, you're a loser. You're making me look like a loser. MAGA stands for Make Attorneys Get Attorneys, okay? And Alina Habba probably has a whole lot more to worry about professionally and legally than being fired by Donald Trump here as well. Because Judge Donald Middlebrooks, the federal judge in Florida, said that monetary sanctions for Alina Habba is not enough. And likely the state bar needs to look into her conduct because she's acting unethically. When a federal judge says that, that's boom, a tipping point for a state bar association. In the same way, the California State Bar Association has filed charges against John Eastman, one of Trump's other lawyers, to remove his license. The same way the Washington, D.C. and New York State Bar filed and have suspended Rudy Giuliani's legal license. I wouldn't be surprised, in my opinion, if Alina Habba gets a similar knock on her door by the state bars for filing patently frivolous documents repeatable. Now look, Tacopino, Trump's new lawyer in the E. Jean Carroll case. By the way, one fact about Tacopino represented an insurrectionist who blamed Donald Trump's conduct for inciting the insurrection. So Tacopino's already taken a position against Donald Trump in one of the insurrectionists' sentencing. Not just any insurrectionist, the insurrectionist who killed the Capitol police officer. So let's just reflect on that for a moment, that's what Tacopino has previously done as well. It's a whole web of chaos and disorder in Trump's legal team here. But Tacopino says, no, Habba's still going to be around, I guess. I'm just going to be the lead trial lawyer here, for all the bravado, bluster, TV media appearances of Habba. Horrible lawyer, horrible reputation for all of the conduct she's engaged in. And look, her legacy is going to be one of disgrace. So is Christina Bobb. It's so obvious. I don't feel bad for them. They knew what they were getting into. And MAGA, make attorneys, get attorneys. He's throwing you under the bus, Alina Habba. I'm looking at you, throwing you under the bus. Buckle up. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button. We are on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. Please hit the subscribe button now. In addition to subscribing, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. You will love the exclusive content there. We even have Zoom meetups where you can meet me and my brothers and speak to us and ask us questions. But in addition to that, it just helps grow this platform. So if you're able to, please join. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
The best part of waking up? MAGA Tears in my cup. Check out the new MAGA Tears mug available now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com. It's 100% union made right here in the USA. I know I'm not tired of winning yet. How about you? Get yours today.